welcome back to Greenlands. We are starting off loading up some milk because yet again I have a great demand for milk. It seems to be the only thing I ever get a great demand for, but we may as well go and get that sold. And then we're going to do a bit of herbicide spraying, a bit of work with the biomass plant. We've got to do some stuff with the sheep, some fertilizer spreading, and our silage bales are fermented. So lots of different jobs today to get done. It's pretty busy end of May. But the sheep are we had our first batch of lambs there, must have been 5 months ago, 4.5 months ago. Come back to that in a second, because over 60 grand for the milk with the environmental score creeping up. So herbicide. With grass or with ploughed fields, you don't need to apply herbicide, but you don't get the environmental score unless you do that. And basically you spray a tiny bit on and it gives you pretty much the full herbicide bonus. Yes, it's cheaty, but it's kind of feels like a limitation of how precision farming has implemented weeding, in that if you have a field that doesn't need weeding, you take a penalty for not weeding it, which just seems crazy. So yeah, just going around applying a tiny bit of herbicide to each of the fields, and that's giving us a nice boost on our environmental score, which I should have done before I sold the milk. But anyway, as I was saying about the sheep, yeah, we've got our first batch of lambs are 4 and a bit months old, I think, because the ewes are going to have another batch of lambs in June, so we need to make space. So we will be putting in some new accommodations for the sheep, and there's a stray bale in there somewhere. I'm just gonna, there we go, just so that I can find it later. Yeah, we need to put in some new accommodations for the sheep to make space, because I don't want to sell off the lambs yet. In fact, I may just keep them all. We may just keep growing the number of sheep that we have. I'm not sure. I did consider buying the other farm. There's another farm to the northwest of us, but actually it has quite small capacities for its enclosures. So yeah, we didn't bother in the end with that. Yeah, so just repeating the process, going around putting a little bit of herbicide on. This field 55, is the only field that actually needs herbicide applying, and although it has weeds growing, as soon as you switch the weeder on, or the herbicide sprayer on, you get the full environmental bonus. So yeah, I do still go around and spray all the weeds off, because this is the first time I've got to use spot spraying with precision farming. It's kind of cool. I quite like it. Definitely feels like the way it should be done rather than blanket coating, although I guess in reality the bits that you hadn't sprayed, probably more weeds would come back. I guess maybe you would do this, I say maybe you do this when the plants are more mature and they have, I think the term is canopied, so that you don't really get much weed growth on the soil, but at that point your see and spray wouldn't see the weeds because the plants had canopied and covered the weeds. So yeah, I don't know. There's something missing in this link, I think. Maybe the rest of the weeds should keep growing, so you might have to do a second application. I don't know. I know with seasons in FS19, you got the patchy weeds, but you did a blanket application of herbicide, and that meant you didn't get any more growth either. So yeah, I guess the same thing happens with a weeder, in that if you take a weeder over the field, you don't get regrowth, I don't think. So I've not done a lot with weeds because I've done a lot of ploughing in FS22 because I don't like weeds. And to be honest, I've not played enough years on a farm to have got to the point where I've dealt with the fact that you generally have to plough fields in the first year, and then in the second year you don't. So this is going into our second harvest on here, and I think probably we will be skipping ahead again on here because there's not a lot left to do after today's video. We've got all the herbicide taken care of. I end up getting all the fertilizer taken care of, so don't think there is going to be much to do until harvest, which should be July, so we might end up skipping June, I think. It's probably a month that I would normally do a bunch of contracting in, but we're not doing contracts on here. So yeah. We will get, I think I get all the grass fertilized as well. Let's get this herbicide unloaded first and get the T6 put away and get the sprayer off. We shouldn't need that again this year. Probably take the row crops off the T6 now, get some proper wheels back on there, because I do like using that tractor. It's quite a nice one. We spoke about it in yesterday's multiplayer video. It's an edit by me of the base game T6, which is on my Discord if you would like it. As is this Farsin, I believe. I think it's still on there. And this is another edit. Basically, I just made it a bit faster because the electric version in the base game is really slow. Yeah, but it's kind of cool using some vehicles running on alternative fuels. I'm going to quickly fill the biomass heating plant up. Although it's May, we still seem to be burning through the wood chips. I guess we are... I don't know why we're burning through wood chips. Need to get the wife to turn the heating down probably. But yeah, just top that up a little bit. And now looking at options for sheep pens that I have installed. So this is from, that was Cookie Cat's Fenceless Husbandries. Then just looking around the map for any other sheep pens. There is only the one that I spoke about. And then thinking, well, where can we put in another sheep enclosure? This one is from the Elk Mountain Ranch pack, so the same as the open cow pasture we're using. But I think I have decided to go for the smaller free-range sheep pastures from Cookie Cat's Fenceless Animals pack. These hold 50 each, and we have 100 sheep to move out. So for now, this will deal with it. We might need to put a fence in. We might not. We've lost a little bit of grass field, which is kind of annoying, but I think we have enough. And it'll probably be cheaper to buy another grass field and just fill that field with sheep enclosures than to buy a big sheep pen. So I just need to move the fertilizer trailer out of the way. I'd forgotten that the next Ural, it's a Ural, I think it's a Ural. The Ural next lorry didn't have a hitch on the back for a trailer. So I have to use our big animal trailer because that's the only one I have. And yes, crash count +1. I can move 50 at a time, which is quite nice because that's exactly what the new sheep pastures hold. We are going to have to give them water and feed, so they're an animal enclosure that doesn't have plumbed in water, so something I need to remember to do. We have that with the open cow pasture anyway, so it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. I might look at getting a smaller water tanker for doing the animals and just keep the big one for milk. And just because it's a bit unnecessary to have the lorry and the massive tank to just chuck a few thousand litres of water in for the animals. Probably more sensible to get something smaller that we can put behind a tractor, I think. So that's the sheep moved. Just need to get them some food and water, as I said. Might do a bit of landscaping around the feed and the water troughs as well. Just put some mud in there just to knock that grass back, and let's be honest, it would be muddy around the feed and water troughs. So get that done, but we need to grab the massive water tanker. As I was saying, I do think we could get away with something a little bit smaller for this job. And it's just a bit of a pain manoeuvring this thing around just to drop off. I think it's 1500 litres of water that the sheep take. Yeah, it's just unnecessary. The cows don't use that much either, so yeah. I think we can cut that down, but we'll grab a couple of hay bales and get them fed. As much as I like the little electric telehandler, I also love this little Massey Ferguson. It's doing a great job of being our bale handling tractor. Basically loading up the feed mixing wagon and also doing this job. And they don't take much either, so 4,000 litres in each one. Where I chuck this in the other sheep pen. Give them some food as well. So yeah, next game day we'll have another 100 lambs appear, so that pen will be full again, and we'll need to keep an eye on that, make sure we don't skip ahead too far and miss out on a batch of lambs. I think long term we're going to need to look for a big sheep pen that probably holds 500. Just going to put some row crops on here, some narrow tires, because we're going to do some fertilizer spreading. I fancy using the Fendt. I know the T6 has narrow tires on already, but we've got a variety of tractors, we may as well use them. I don't think we need the extra capacity of the fertilizer trailer to get this done. We've just got a few fields to run around. In fact, the cornfields are already done, so I don't need to be over here. I think it's possibly just the wheat and barley we need to do. I think we may have done everything else. Yep, potatoes are good. I think we did the grass fields. I have a vague recollection of doing that, so we'll run around these two fields. I put tram lines in, but I can't remember what width I put them in at, which is kind of frustrating. So yeah, I need to make notes on that kind of thing. I was doing 18-meter tram lines, but I think these are wider than 18 meters, and I can't remember how wide. So yeah, you can see we're leaving a gap. No, it's not. Oh, excuse me, I'm kind of tired today. It's not 18 meters like I thought it was. If we over apply, it doesn't matter. We're producing so much fertilizer that I don't think we have a problem. But yeah, I think this is the last field work we need to do before either second cut or harvest. Second cut's going to be August, so probably harvest. Probably the winter oats will be our next job on here. That's what I'm expecting, which is good because we are out of straw, so we do need to get something with straw harvested fairly soon. The oats, I think we'll sell directly. We got rid of the grain mill because I got a bit fed up of dealing with so many productions. So I think we'll just sell the oats directly, unless yeah, I don't know. I'm definitely keeping the ones we've got now. We'll just switch them off. I think it wasn't worth we didn't get much money back from selling that extended grain mill. So actually, comment below, what should we do with the oats? Because my plan time is just actually I know what I've planned to do with them. If we get Maize Plus released, they're going to go into grain mix to feed the animals, but that's dependent on getting Maize Plus released. So we'll probably just stick them in silo for now, hold on to them and wait to see what happens with Maize Plus. Yeah, I'm just going to run up and down each of the tram lines. I should have gone down that one because we end up leaving a gap. The stripe of shame, 2 stripes of shame, we have just shaved straight down the middle. So yeah, we'll just narrow down the spread a bit and get that done. And we're using a cheaty spreader, so we're never going to use too much fertilizer, and we're making our own. So yeah, don't think we really have too much of a problem on here for fertilizer. But that, I think, is all of our fields fertilised, I think, and the silage bales have fermented. It's the 1st of June now, so we have our new lambs in the shed, and we need to get these bales stored into the dynamic bale storage shed. I just don't want them hanging around. They're not really causing lag, but I'd like to get them stored. And it makes it easier for feeding when we get around to feeding them. Actually, what I've decided is we're going to sell at least half of these. I think I spoke about that in the last video. So they'll be going into the BGA, and next video I'm going to start building the generators that I want for the industrial BGA. So we'll be putting the output of the BGA through those to increase our income, because we've still got £9 million to pay off. Yeah, that's the plan for the next video. So what's slightly frustrating is we lose the disturbed bale wrap, but we gain a lot in convenience, and we do have one random grass bale, which is the one that I didn't wrap, and we'll probably just feed that to the sheep at some point. I don't actually remember if I fed it to the sheep or just left it there. I guess if it's still there when we wrap more silage bales, we can wrap it, because grass doesn't rot in FS22, which is kind of magical. You can just leave it there and it'll be fine. I keep the F1 menu open when I'm using this trailer, because I have in the past forgotten to reset the trailer when I unload, and it gets messy. So yeah, last load, and these don't all fit. We have filled up the silo, so yeah, completely full. So we'll put these in the bunker. I have a weird moment here. It tells me the bale's not accepted, and I know what it is. It's because I'm driving past a grass bale, maybe. Not sure why it said bale not accepted. But I'm just going to park the trailer up here. Corn looks good. Can't wait to harvest that. It's going to be fun, a mega silage harvest, and we have a lot of sugar up here that we are going to move into the dairy, and I need to bring some more milk up here when we don't have a great demand to produce some more chocolate is the plan. The sugar mill has finished processing all of the sugar beet finally, so the remainder that we've got I am just going to put through the dairy and make some chocolate. Seemed like it was quite a good earner, so yeah, I think we'll do that. Keep that churning over a little bit, waiting for a good price on the canola oil still. That's kind of thrown across the concrete there. It's still way off of a good price, and there's no point selling it early. We're not in a rush to get rid of it, so we'll just be patient, make as much money as we can off of it. And I think at this point I'm going to say thank you to the patrons and the YouTube channel members. I appreciate your support, and also I'm going to say thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, then please hit the like button. If you didn't enjoy the video, hit the dislike button. That is your choice. Leave me a comment if you want to, and if you're not already, subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Catch you next time.